my name is Nitra, and I'm going to tell you about some basic facts about Russian geography. Everybody knows that Russia is the world's largest country, and that's why it has a very diverse geography. The northern Russia extends into the Arctic Circle. This area is primarily tundra and forest with thousands of lakes. Russia has many mountain areas. The Ural Mountain covers 2,050 miles of eastern Russia. The Caucasian Mountains cross the southern part of Russia from the Black Sea to Caspian Sea. From the western border to the Ural Mountains, the north of European plain, this large rolling plain which rich in soil of grasslands. Now let's talk about some consumer market cities. Russia has about 140 million inhabitants, and 73% of these inhabitants live in urban space. Size of country, it means in the most urban space in province, and it's really difficult to for retailers and to explore this because of this. Moscow and St. Petersburg, western oriented and come to nation average. As you can see, most of the population of Russia in the western part. Here is the mountains and permafrost and plains. On this slide you can see 12 million cities in Russia. Here you can see the food and everyday items. Family spending on food, the cost in United States dollars. The most one in the Moscow, second in St. Petersburg, Yekaterinburg, and other regional cities. On this slide you can see salary index in Russia. The average is 100, and the biggest one in Moscow, and other more than 1 million cities. On this slide you can see the internet penetration rate also.
My name is Evgenia. I come from Russia, and now I would like to tell you about some main economics and social indicators or factors in Russia. As you see, the main economics indicators is GDP, which in Russia is nearly 2 trillions, and nowadays is growing, of course, but crisis can reduce its effect. On this slide you can see our growing of GDP from 1992 years to other days. But for better understanding of Russian economics and social behavior, we have to see our economics indicators, which on this slide is the population, of course, and another. Nowadays, Russia has big problems in population, and you can see that the volume of deaths and births on the same level. It's very bad for us, but we want to improve the situation in the near future, of course. But we can say that lifetime in Russia increase, and now it's age near 17 years for men and 75 years for women. Of course, we have a problem in now economics, and the main factors is unemployment. Our unemployment in Russia is near 5% for this day, and because of crisis, it will be more. Also, we have a problem in immigration because we have a lot of immigration from third world countries around Russia. It's like Turkmenistan and another. They come to us for working, and our situation stay more terrible. That's why. Then thank you for your attention. And my colleagues to present you more information about culture and another situation in Russia.
Hello, my name is Nadia, and I want to tell you some facts about demography in Russia. For example, some factors which influence the marketing environment. Here you can see that since 1987 the population has steadily declined due to lower birth rates. It is this line, blue one. And in 1993 our country has the lowest birth rate in Europe over the period since 1970. That is why the median age grows. So today it is about 37 years, and the average life expectancy is less than 70 years. So we can say that every fifth Russian is elderly. Population aging is accompanied by increased demand for medical services. Increase of the proportion of people of retirement age leads to an increase in the health needs of the population as a whole. Increased demand for health services leads to an increase in their supply, and that is why increased competition in this industry. And we can see that there are a lot of advertisement in our TV which protect healthy lifestyle. So there are a lot of TV programs about health on our television. Personal life is no longer controlled by any church or state. In the first place came the I and no we, as it were, for example, in the USSR. Women began to seek greater independence and achieve it. Now a woman is able to earn money and provide for the family to raise a child. For many, career comes first in the chain of life values. Family goes by the wayside. That is why the number of marriages decreased and discoveries increased. And the number of children born out of wedlock increases. This means a reduction in demand for wedding supplies and other goods and services for the newlyweds. Today, amount of single-partnered family increase, and that is why goods and services for such families increase too. For example, babysitting and such service as husband for an hour. Despite the increased attention to the problem of divorce and fertility, in particular the loss of maternity capital, divorce statistics still disappointing, but reduced the number of abortions. Under the program, the parent capital, woman receives financial compensation for the second and subsequent child. The compensation is about 8,500 euro. This amount of money every family can spend to improve their life conditions, to the education of child, and for the child's daily needs. So the market of children goods is growing now. Today, the volume of this market $14.5 billion, and potential is about 20. And average growth rate of this market is about 15% a year. Thank you.
Student from Russia, and I would like to tell you about policy of Russia. Everybody knows that President of Russia is Vladimir Putin, and it's his third time as a president in Russia, but I don't want to touch topic of conflict Ukraine and Russia because situation is very complicated, and in Russia we are waiting the finish of this situation. So in my presentation I used two types of language, Russian and English. Russian as my domestic language and English as international language. I think it will be good for our colleagues from Slovak Republic and maybe for them in Canada who is studying also this language. And so introduction, I would like to tell you about my topic. First of all, it is political factors influencing on consumer behavior. Sense of my presentation is very common, but in Slovak Republic and Russia's situation is very similar. So during the presentation I would like to describe mechanism and process of influencing political factors on consumer behavior and finishing choice of each consumer. So there are two groups of factors which always influencing on consumer. First, it is marketing, for example, price or commodities, and second, it is external economic factors, for example, external environment factors, for example, economical, technological, or political, maybe social. First, all of factors surrounding consumer always take part in consumer's choice and varying degrees influencing on consumer. So these factors include a lot of operations which determine consumer to make the choice of each goods. So let's talk about policy. What is it? Policy is management of actions and decision, and policy sets direction of decision making. Policy has direct impact on state decision making by consumers. It takes the form of indirect measures, encouraging us to continue any choice. Political factors always work closely with other factors, for example, economical, social factors, cultural factors, technological. It will be described later by my colleagues. So one of the most simple example of is adoption by the Russian government of law on raising cigarette prices in 2017 year. And it's impossible to talk about political factors apart from the rest factors. Now I'd like to describe management decision. What is it? It's process for purposeful influence the management subject on the control object to maintain a given object in a necessary condition. So now let's look now at the process of political influence. So as you see on this slide, in top we see problem, then is going step which call political willpower. Third step is situation evaluate, collect information, evaluate of risk, choosing way of influencing, and then we try to use proposed theory, and if a theory is correct, we are going here and making our finish decision. But if theory is not correct, if theory is wrong, so we go on a step before. So for example here or here, and we need to study problem again, or collect information about problem and evaluate situation. And among of main ways of policy influencing might be economical, cultural, social, media and news, and lobbyism. That's a process when each company has own peoples in government which are trying to pass legislation that maybe brings the highest utility to company. And in conclusion, I would like to say the political factors affect more on the rest factors, not on the consumer behavior, namely essentially affect the laws and regulation. And thank you for your attention. That is all what I want to say. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Alexandra, and now I would like to tell about Russian culture. Social cultural aspect of marketing in Russia include marketing involves both technical and social elements. Technical elements are generally universally, and social elements are market specific and display the cultural difference of a given society. And the impact of social cultural factors and in marketing is important for understanding consumer behavior and planning appropriate market strategies. On this slide you can see some statements about culture. About culture. Culture consists of beliefs, behaviors, objects and others. Culture helps people to define themselves, conform to society's traits, values and contribute to society. Includes many social aspects: language, customs, values, norms, rules, tools, products and others. These terms include a lot of specific social activities, education, religion, work and health care. Social cultural aspect markets should consider education, language, material culture, social organization, technology and others. On this slide you can see Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Cultural macro-social level include cultural, generation, gender, social class and lifestyle. Macro-social level include subcultures, tribes, interactions, practices. Individual level include subjects, condition, motives, and biological level include basic needs, food. And now I would like to tell about Russian celebrates such as Maslenitsa. Maslenitsa is one of my favorite holidays. Maslenitsa is an Eastern Slavic religions and folk holiday. Is celebrated during the last week of winter. Maslenitsa has is original in both pagan and Christian traditions. The most characteristic food in Maslenitsa is blini, in English pancakes. You can see blini. Maslenitsa activities also include snowballs, flights, sledding, riding on swings, and plenty of sleighs rides. After I would like to tell about Easter. Easter is a Christian festival and holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Easter customs vary across the Christian world and include sunrise services, climbing the Paschal grating, climbing the church, and decorating Easter eggs, a symbol of the empty tomb. After me, my colleague to tell about traditional Russian dishes. Thank you for all your attention.
Hello, my name is Julia, and I would like to tell you about Russian traditional foods. Russian cuisine is a collection of different cooking traditions of the Russian people. The cuisine is diverse as Russian is by the largest country in the world. Russian cuisine diverse the varied character from the vast and multicultural expanse of Russia. Moreover, it's necessary to divide Russian traditional cuisine and Soviet cuisine, which has one peculiarity. Its foundations were laid by peasant food of the rural population. Of the often harsh climate, this combination plain fish, poultry, game, mushroom, berries, and honey. Crops of the rye, wheat, barley, and malt provided the ingredients for a plethora of breads, pancakes, tsera, beer, and vodka. Soups that still full flavor are central sensory of stable products, fish, and meals. Soups have always played an important role in the Russian meal. The traditional shape of soups such as borscht, uha, rasolnik, solyanka, batvinya, okroshka, and tura was enlarged in the 19th to 20th centuries by both European and Central Asian staples like clear soups, purge soups, stews, and many others. In traditional cuisine, their basic version of meat dishes can be highlighted. A large boiled piece of meat cooked in a soup of porridge, and they used the second course served called it's холодец. All full dishes baked pots together these cereals, and while full dishes pass of fowl or large piece of meat baked on baking tray and over, so-called жаркое. Fish was important and pure revolution cuisine, especially of Russian. Orthodox fast days, then meat was forbidden. Theoretically, fish such carp and sudak were commonly eaten in inland areas, as well as andromous, sturgeon, and northern areas, salmon and trout. Great variety of fish, including software spices, were preserved by salting, pickling, or smoking, and consumed as закуски. Yes. Blini are thin pancakes made with yesterday batter, which often served in connection with a religious rite or festival. Blini can be made from wheat, buckwheat, and other grains. All these wheat blini are the most popular in Russia. They may be topped with butter, smetana, fruit, or caviar. Traditional Russia too. Сырники. This. Are fired curd fritters, garnished with sour cream, jam, honey, apple sauce. And vatrushka is a kind of cake with a ring of dough and tvorog. in the middle, often with designs of bits of fruits from above 5 inches to half feet in diameter. However, in the recent years, increasingly popular lunches in cafes and restaurants, as well as food delivery to your home. The most popular consumer goods are sushi, pizza, burgers, and Japan's, China's, Italian, European, and other cuisine, and business lunch, maybe on the job for popular. This is all. Thank you for your attention.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Veronika, and I would like to tell you about Russian marketing infrastructure and elaborate on such important issues as the largest Russian producers and retail chains, and the share of the retail formats on the Russian fast-moving consumer goods market. I also would like to tell you about the biggest Russian investors. You can see on the slide the biggest private Russian producers. Lukoil occupies the first place. It is one of the biggest producers of gas and petroleum in our country. You can see this company has a very good revenue growth. More than 100,000 people is working in this company. The second place is occupied Surgutneftegas. It is the biggest Siberian company. It is producer of gas and petroleum too. Evros takes third place. It is the biggest metallurgical company in Russia. Tatneft and Severstal takes the third and the fourth places. We can see that the gas, oil, iron and steel are important kind of natural resources which is bringing great income to Russia. This slide shows us the biggest Russian private agricultural producers. First place is occupied by producer soybean. The second place takes seed oil producer, which owns the Zolotaya Semechka trademark. The third place is occupied the famous meat producers, Cherkizova, and third and fourth places are the meat producers, and the fourth place is taken FK company, which owns famous trademark named Sloboda. The largest Russian producers are also Eston, Priaskolye, which produce children nutrition, and halal products. Rusagro, it is a big company that produce sugar, pork, margarine, mayonnaise, and Vostok and Proto. This slide shows us the biggest retail chains in fast-moving consumer goods market. The first place is occupied by X5 retail group, which consists of very famous Russian retail chains as Peterочка, Карусель, and Перекресток. The second place is taken by the very famous retail chain named Magnit. Megapolis takes third place and includes such famous food shops as Dixie and Victoria. OK and Седьмой Континент are very famous in Russia too. So this slide shows us the shares of trade formats in the Russian FMCG market. As we can see, that number of hypermarkets, supermarkets, hypermarkets, supermarkets, and and discounters. This one, discounters, are growing. However, number of counter service shops decreases as street trade and open markets. This one, and kiosks and pavilions decreases. So this slide shows the most active Russian investors. The first place is occupied by Gazprom. The second place is taken by Rosneft. Russian Railways takes the third place. Lukoil and Wimpelcom are taking the third and fifth places. Thank you for the attention.
My name is Anna, and I would like to tell you the last part of our presentation about Russia. I want to say a few words about media. As we know, three basic elements of marketing mix: it's product, price, place, and promotion. It's 4 P's, and sometimes we can say fifth P, it's packaging. And promotion, it's the mostly media. It's newspapers, television, internet, social network. Everybody know this website. It's world famous, eBay, and the social network Facebook. And in Russia we have also analogy. It's Avito site when you can buy or sell something, and Russian social network ВКонтакте. It's the same like Facebook without any difference, no, maybe a little. And other, it's classmates, одноклассники. It's a Russian type of social network, and there is an informal opinion that ВКонтакте, in contact, it's a social network for students and maybe high school, and одноклассники, classmates, for their parents who finished school many years ago and try to find each other. Nowadays, young people in Russia very active in internet and social networking, and newspapers now lose their positions, and many photographers, maybe hairstyle, nail style specialists try to promote their services on their pages on ВКонтакте, Facebook, or одноклассники. So to be a participator of social media, you need only internet connection, and if you can do something, service something, you can find people who need it. One of the basic elements of media and social media, it's branding. This is a picture from a website of a Russian advertising agency named Paradigma, and it's a game. You can find it later if you want. Brand Wonderland. You can find here 60 world famous brands. And if you find all of them, you are genius, really. You can try it. I can help you a little. For example, this is 7-Up, Pepsi, what? Windows, McDonald's, and interesting, Facebook. Any ideas? Maybe you see something here. If you find this game on internet, when you try and looking, there is a special sound. It can help you. Unfortunately, I can't
organize this game for you, but maybe you see 60 brands. Yes. What is interesting also? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, really good. It's difficult, but very interesting. What? Omega. And Twitter. Ashan. Walt Disney. Okay, it's really interesting. If you want, you can try to find. Yes, this is once again, this is the name. Brand Wonderland. And many companies use methods like product placement and endorsement. Endorsement, when company used a well-known person to promote a product. For example, this is our Russian famous footballist, and they give us a piece of advice to eat Lay's. And this picture from a movie, when we see that girls use this cosmetic. Really. And another question for you. It's also world's top brands, but it's not a real order. It's just brands. And which do you think? What is the number one of this? Marlboro, Nokia, Mercedes, General Electric, Intel, IBM, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Disney. Yes, you're right. And these examples of Russian brands, clothes by Valentin Yudashkin. I don't know, maybe you heard something about this guy. Of course, vodka, Русский стандарт, Russian standard, and chocolate, Russia, generous soul. Yes. Yes. Thank you for your attention.
So, dear colleagues, that's all for now. We expect your presentation. This evening the presentation will be uploaded to YouTube, so will be available since tomorrow for Canadian students. And because we still have here food to eat, so now I would like to invite you, if I can, to enjoy our Slovak national meals, brinzové halušky from your mother, you said, then typical Slovak cakes from your grandmother. So whole family helps you to bring us some very nice and tasty food. And of course there are some products from Slovak food producing companies, so informally we can just sit and discuss maybe differences, similarities between Central European and Russian culture, and I think this is also one step forward to the friendship between our Slovak students and Russian students. So thank you very much for your participation and for everything you did for today's very untypical lecture. So this is the first time we are doing something like this. So we of course know that maybe there were some mistakes, but hopefully we start new tradition at our university, and next year or next semester we will be able to organize online courses and lectures, not only video presentations. So have a nice day.